Yesterday was truly a wild day for the AI space because we actually had two major model drops. One being the Anthropic Opus 4.6, which was seriously an impressive agentic model. But what a lot of people didn't notice is that OpenAI quietly tried to steal the thunder from Anthropic by dropping a powerful model of their own. And honestly, I think this one deserves way more spotlight right now because OpenAI might be back. They had just released the GPT 5.3 Codex, their most capable agentic coding model to date. This isn't just better at writing code, it is faster, smarter, and more autonomous. It can handle real long running tasks more like a teammate than a tool. In fact, it's about 25% faster, which makes it practical for long, complex workflows involving research, tool use, and multi step execution. And when it comes to benchmarks, the GPT 5.3 Codex is no joke because it sets a new industry standard on the Sway Bench Pro as well as the Terminal Bench. And it just shows how strong its performance is within OS World, GDP Eval, as well as other benchmarks, which are just showcasing how well it is in terms of its coding capabilities, its agentic behavior, as well as real world task performance. And you might have already seen some insane stuff people are building on X with the GPT 5.3 Codex, where, for example, someone had actually generated a full on flight simulation, something that would have taken a developer weeks to build by hand. And the reason why this is happening is because the GPT 5.3 Codex has significantly upgraded in its web development capabilities. By combining frontier level coding with better aesthetics and smarter compaction, this model can now build strictly highly functional games and apps from scratch, something over a course of just a few days. And you can see from the generations that they have showcased off of their blog posts, where it has created a full on racing game. Or in this case, you have this diving game, which was fully generated with the Codex model. If you want to build faster with I send my exact tools, workflows, and prompts in my free newsletter with the link in the description below, which you can subscribe completely for free. Another thing I noticed with the GPT 5.3 is that this model understands your intent way better and ships more complete code. For example, with this website, it was able to fully generate all the components of it directly based off the prompt that was sent in. Whereas if you compare it to the 5.2 Codex, it doesn't generate it at the same level of quality as the 5.3. Not just that, this new Codex model goes beyond coding because it supports the entire software and knowledge work lifecycle, from debugging and deploying or to actually writing docs. From this prompt, you can see that it is able to provide the financial advice slides directly to you. It is also something that can work on outputting training docs through Word, something like how Claude does with its own Microsoft suite of tools. It is also something that can work with spreadsheets and create presentations for you. So you can clearly see the war between these two models, Anthropic's Claude models versus the OpenAI GPT models, bubbling up even more. And you can see that OpenAI is definitely trying to counter whatever Claude is trying to do. Now, currently, OpenAI is claiming that this model runs 25% faster and uses significantly fewer tokens than the previous Codex 5.2 model, which not only makes it more efficient, but also cheaper to run where billing truly matters. Because right now it is priced at $1.75 per 1 million input tokens and $14 for 1 million output tokens. Now, it currently has a context window of 400K. And one thing I noticed is that this model is great and all, but you can only access it right now through the Codex app, through their own web app with a Codex integrated through ChatGPT. You can integrate it through the Codex CLI or through the VS Code extension. The API right now is not available, which is the only downside. One of the employees at OpenAI, who is specifically working on the Codex app, had stated that they are currently working on releasing the Codex app for Windows. So if you're a Windows user like me, we're soon going to be able to access it. Here is our first test. This is a new Counter-Strike style benchmark where they compared the GPT 5.3 Codex with the new Opus 4.6, and both models clearly beat all previous generations. The Codex was about 2 times faster with this generation, but Claude generally made better decisions and higher quality outputs across most of the prompts. Both produced better maps, guns, and more realistic characters with few coding errors, showing the frontier is shifting from basic coding to game physics and world logic, which is just incredible because we're going to come to a point where AI models are definitely going to be helping a lot of developers, the game developers, in coding out a lot of their components with AI models. But you can clearly see that even models still have quirks like physics issues, you have odd camera perspectives, and shooting through obstacles. But overall, both were impressive and genuinely fun to actually visualize the output of. And this is something that you can actually play along with, especially using instant multiplayer with the links in the description below. But in essence, Codex is faster, Claude is smarter with the decisions. This is just an incredible prompt that was sent in to build a 2D platformer end to end from a single prompt. It wrote the Python code as well as using the Nano Banana Pro to generate the sprite assets. It also accounted for the limitations like the non-transparent backgrounds. So instead of you juggling tools, Codex model was able to plan everything, generate the code, and integrate the image assets directly into the game. And this is something that turned a multi-step workflow into a playable game, which is just remarkable. Here was where it attempted to create a full-on Pokemon game. And in my opinion, this is actually better than what the Opus 4.6 had generated, which is kind of remarkable. This is where it has added all of the functionalities of a Pokemon game where you can battle other Pokemons, use the storyline, and move around through the map. Now, the game that showcased initially was created by the developer on Twitter called Angel, and he had also created a full on Minecraft clone using 3GS, and it was able to run smoothly. And you can see that this is probably the best generation of a Minecraft clone with functional assets. You have functional dynamic movements, and it is something that allows you to mimic every component of a Minecraft game, which is just remarkable. This is just incredible to me that a model like this can code out a full on game for you. In terms of SVG generation, this is where it had animated this pelican riding a bike. And the animations are great, but in terms of the quality of output of SVG code, it doesn't compare to what Gemini does, obviously, but it is also behind the Opus model in terms of generating SVG code. Now, I personally think that this prompt is just poor prompting, but in essence, there was a comparison video on X which showcased these two landing pages, and it had requested users to guess which model had generated which amongst the Opus 4.6 versus the new Codex model. And surprisingly, I personally thought that this first generation that you're seeing right now was generated by the Codex model, but that's actually wrong. That was generated by the Opus 4.6, and the second generation that you see was generated by the Codex model. And surprisingly, that result was true because I had requested the Opus 4.6 with thinking enabled and it generated this landing page. Now, it's not horrible or anything, but you can see that it still uses that tacky AI generation with its UI. You need to dig a bit deeper to get the better quality generations by specifying the typography, the dynamic movements of animations through other facets to improve the overall UI generation. So this is what the Opus 4.6 had generated. And this is what the 5.3 was able to generate, the model, the Codex model. And you can see that it still has that tacky open AI generation look. Now, I probably need to prompt a little bit better with both these models to get better generations for front ends, but still, they're not at the same level of quality as the Gemini models. If you like this video and would love to support the channel, you can consider donating to my channel through the super thanks option below. Or you can consider joining our private Discord where you can access multiple subscriptions to different AI tools for free on a monthly basis, plus daily AI news and exclusive content, plus a lot more. My final thoughts about this model is that the GPT 5.3 Codex is truly a remarkable model, and if you are to compare it to something like the Claude Opus 4.6, they both have their own peaks in terms of their own use cases and preferences. Now, I personally believe that the Codex is a great fast model that you would want to use for interactive use cases as well as using it agentically within workflows. But then again, you can use the Claude model as well agentically through different sorts of apps. It is something that I would use the Codex model for terminal heavy tasks, which is perfect for rapid iterations. And due to its speed, it is a lot better than the Opus model, which uses a lot more reasoning and token usage for that. The Opus model is definitely slower, but more thoughtful. And with deeper reasoning, you're going to get long horizon planning. And with its new massive 1 million context window, I think it makes it an ideal use for complex, high stake projects, whereas the Codex for fast iterations. So there's no clear winner. You can choose depending on speed and execution with Codex and depth and autonomy with the Opus model. So please do let me know what you guys actually think. I want to actually hear your feedback. I want to see what sort of findings you guys have found from using these two models. But with that thought, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the second channel, join the newsletter, join the Discord, follow me on Twitter, and lastly, make sure you guys subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like this video, and please take a look at our previous videos so that you can stay up to date with the latest AI news. But with that thought, guys, have an amazing day, spread positivity, and I'll see you guys fairly shortly. Peace out, fellas.